As a company founded in Ukraine and with two of our offices there, many of our clients and partners have asked us to share our story. The story of how we handled the crisis and kept the operations going during this war. First, I want to thank you for asking and for your overwhelming support. I am humbled and honored to share our story. 2022 was on track to be the most successful year in our company's history. We'd been growing and expanding. We'd recorded outstanding results. We entered new areas of expertise, and we were building up our client base globally. But the war changed everything. In January of 2022, we celebrated our 15th anniversary from when we opened our first office in Ukraine. 15 years of hard work, commitment and dedication from the whole team brought us new global locations, new departments, new training programs, and of course, new people. Our story is rich and full of memories. We reached another important milestone in January. We finally finished the construction of our new office in Orlando and moved into our brand new US facility. No doubt that the new normal for work is a hybrid model, so we designed this new office space to serve as a place for team collaboration, a place where our team has the opportunity to meet up and a place to do project work. Amazing beginning of the year. But no matter how positive the vibe was, we couldn't stop thinking about the imminent danger of Russia invading Ukraine. Since the 2014 annexation of the Donbas and Crimea regions of Ukraine, our business continuity plan has maintained the same strategy. In case of emergency, we would evacuate our offices in Kharkiv and Kyiv to Warsaw, Poland, where we established operations a few years ago. The risk of a rapid and full-scale invasion was extremely high, but there were no clear indicators to help us decide if and when to evacuate our offices. Right up until the last minute, many people were still wondering whether the invasion would even happen. For me personally, the trigger for action was when President Biden announced that all Americans needed to get out of Ukraine immediately. That same day, I bought a plane ticket from Florida to Ukraine. I arrived in Kyiv on February 14th, just 10 days before the war started. At that time, we made a difficult decision to implement a preventative plan. We set up a temporary living and working facility close to the western border of Ukraine. We didn't want our team to panic, so we made this move feel like a corporate retreat rather than a major evacuation rollout. We ended up in a small town in the western part of Ukraine, just a few miles from the borders of Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland. We chose a recreational facility in a natural reserve park with multiple hotel buildings and a food court. It was an amazing setting surrounded by Carpathian mountains. This is where we were a few days before the war began. We rolled out a temporary office and arranged accommodation for our employees and their families. Then we waited for the first buses from Kharkiv and Kyiv to arrive.
I was one of the first to arrive at our temporary facility in west of Ukraine. My goal was to help people make sure they could keep our project work going. The risk of war was always on our minds, but we all decided to approach this move like we were in a company-wide adventure. We thought that it would be great to spend 2 or 3 weeks with our colleagues in beautiful Carpathian mountains. I was so naive. I thought I even brought my ski equipment, thinking I could spend a week on the slopes with my friends. But on February 24, everything changed. Our people's safety became our top priority. During the first days of war, the most critical thing for us was the evacuation of our employees with their families while also keeping the project work going. Not everyone from our team decided to move to our temporary facility before the war started. So our management team worked on the logistics, how to get everyone who wanted to come to our facility and the way to get there safely. The region we were in was overwhelmed by refugees from all over the country. I was not prepared for the huge influx of people. It was a logistical disaster, with basics like food, gas, housing, and shelter running short. I don't have the words to express how proud I am of our project teams. Despite everything, they courageously kept the project work going, sometimes even working from the basements of bomb shelters during the missile attacks. Our teams in Orlando and Warsaw, and those who arrived in our temporary facility before the war started, they all helped with the project workloads, while their colleagues were making the arduous journey to the west of Ukraine, spending days on the road. Their professionalism, dedication, and commitment were out of this world.
By March, we were hosting over 250 people in our temporary facility in western Ukraine. Our employees had found a safe harbor for themselves, their families, and even their pets. We got everyone there safely. But it soon became apparent that we needed to move forward with our regional plan to get people to Poland. So, in addition to the 250 people in western Ukraine, we also evacuated over 50 people to Warsaw. Those who wanted and could leave the country chose to go to Poland.
Poland has taken the largest number of refugees from Ukraine. Warsaw alone has accepted over 300 people, but these huge numbers quickly pushed the country's transportation and accommodation infrastructure to its breaking point. Train stations, university dorms, and sports facilities were all overwhelmed by Ukrainian refugees. The border checkpoints reflected this too and became choke points where people could spend over 24 hours waiting in line to cross into Poland. We managed to get the timing right and arranged safe transportation for our employees and their families to Warsaw. In Warsaw, we rented a hotel for them to stay at and conference room for our employees to keep their project work going. Our legal team started working with many of our employees who wanted to stay in Warsaw long-term to transition our employment contracts to our Warsaw office. This was when Sergey reached out to me with the idea for the Ukraine to Poland relocation program. He said we had already established the logistics and infrastructure to accommodate our employees' needs. And for those who wanted to stay and work in Poland, we had all their employment and other necessities covered. We took care of employment authorization, social benefits, and health care. We also helped with the search for long-term rental accommodations and lots of other little things that need to be taken care of when moving to a new country. Since we had this infrastructure in place, we had to share it with others from our industry. Lots of people had found themselves stuck between countries with no idea where to go and what to do next. It could be that they had been left by their employers without the support they needed, or they could have decided to stay in Warsaw long-term to be close to Ukraine. So, at the end of March, we launched the Ukraine to Poland relocation program to help people join our Warsaw office. Through this program, we were able to help our colleagues from across the industry at a turbulent and unpredictable time.
A key element of our corporate growth strategy has always been our partnerships with local universities. Over 60% of our staff are graduates from multiple training programs that we have grown and sponsored for years. For example, we work closely with the University of Central Florida, providing internship for mathematics and statistics students and graduates. And the best performing interns secure jobs at our Orlando office. Since 2013, we have maintained a partnership with one of the oldest educational institutions in Ukraine, Karazin University. Here we provide similar training and job opportunities to Karazin students. You know, the war found our Karazin class of 2022 the beginning of the spring semester. We put all our classes on hold immediately, but in the middle of March, several students reached out to us and asked us to keep their training going. Just think about that for a moment. 3 weeks after the war broke out, after the full-scale invasion, our students wanted to resume their training. This is unbelievable. You know, resuming classes was also important for our team. Everyone wanted to feel like it was business as usual, that no matter what, life goes on.
In May of 2022, we had a conference to attend in Atlanta. Fuse US Connect is the industry-leading conference that we were attending and delivered presentation at for years. Emotionally, this was a really difficult trip for me. I realized how much I missed living a normal, peaceful life. I have almost forgotten how I felt to live without a fear, to work, eat, and see friends without a constant sense of danger. I forgot how delicious food could be, and that the siren sound was just a sound. 3 of our guys were supposed to speak at the conference, but due to the restrictions, they couldn't leave Ukraine. It was emotionally challenging for me to travel to the conference knowing they couldn't come. They worked hard on their presentations and papers to get them ready to share with the industry community. It was devastating to see all their hard work wasted. But something special happened that I will never forget. At the official opening of the ceremony, on 2 large screens in the front of over 600 attendees, the organizing committee of the Fuse conference broadcast a live video feed of our guys in Ukraine so they could be there just for a moment and welcome everyone to the conference. Everyone stood up and applauded for several minutes to show the support for Ukraine and their Ukrainian colleagues who were going through at such challenging time. It was an unforgettable moment.
Our clients, who we've been working with for years, are the best. Their level of support and commitment has been extraordinary. None of our clients pulled the plug and stopped their project work with us. Not one. The only question they had for us was whether all of our employees, all of our people were safe. Since the beginning of the war, we've received a constant stream of messages from our clients asking how they could help. So, together with many of them, we created the Ukraine Relief Fund to provide financial support to our Ukrainian employees and their families. Many of our team members have become the main source of income for multiple families, so any support they could get was critical. The Ukraine Relief Fund is an endeavor I'll be proud of for years to come. Intego, together with our clients and partners, has provided over $500,000 in financial support to our employees and their families in Ukraine.
Living in one big community is not something I have ever experienced before. We were surrounded by our colleagues and their families 24/7 for months, with very limited options to leave our facility. Our team organized itself to try to ensure the loved ones' lives were as normal as possible. We arranged a kids club, jogging, and lots of other activities to make life feel kinda normal. We spent our free time helping local community. We cleaned up the forest trails, fixed IT equipment for the small villages around us, and volunteered at local distribution hubs that provided necessities for the refugee camps. Think about it. You spend your day in the office with your colleagues, And then you find yourself surrounded by the same people after work hours. Even over the weekend, they are. It shouldn't drive everyone crazy, but it did not. Throughout all those months, there wasn't a slightest suggestion of a conflict within our team. In fact, we became even closer to each other. The bonds we forged will run through our company for years to come, I think.
We now had so many people joining our office in Warsaw that we needed a new space to work. We wanted to make sure the company had a settled, long-term home that could accommodate hybrid working and new growth opportunities. This year, Warsaw became Eastern Europe's leading IT hub because so many IT companies moved to the city, especially from Ukraine. So we looked at office space that had a Silicon Valley spirit located in an area with lots to do so our teams could spend time together after work. We needed somewhere with the variety of housing opportunities and good transportation links. The office we found is right in the center of Warsaw on Grzybowska Street. It has everything we need, and more importantly, our team loves watching the sunset from the top floor windows in our office.
In the middle of the summer, we passed the pinnacle of the crisis. Many people started moving back to their hometowns, leaving out our temporary facility in the west of Ukraine. Many people also moved back from Europe to Ukraine, while others decided to relocate to Poland. Our people started living more or less normal lives again and got ready for the school years beginning in September. However, with new threats coming from Russians who were shelling critical infrastructure all over the country, we decided to keep our temporary facility up and running. Considering the difficulty our team could experience during the upcoming winter, we secured one of the hotel buildings close to our temporary office. Our employees could come there with their families at any time and live and work there at no cost. We wanted to make sure that our team had some place they could go to feel safe and comfortable during the difficult winter ahead. We also decided to reopen main office in Kyiv. Both offices have a backup facilities that run 24/7 when there is no central power and during internet outages. Kyiv, Kharkiv, and other regions of Ukraine are finally returning to something that resembles as a normal life. Restaurants, shops, and hotels are reopening. Our people are safe and slowly getting back to everyday routine.
Despite everything our team went through in 2022, the company finished the year stronger than we have ever been. Our team grew by 20%. We secured new contracts and we expanded our operations in Poland and Florida. Our relationship with clients and partners has reached new heights. All graduates from our 2022 Karazin program successfully secured jobs in our company and joined the project work. We continue to invest in the young talent no matter what, and so the new class of 2023 recently started their fall semester. Ukrainians are unbelievable. Those from our team who joined the armed forces, who run volunteering hubs, or who keep the country up and running, and all who no matter what keep the project work going. They are all heroes to me. Nobody knows what challenges this war may bring, but I believe that our team can overcome anything. Given what we've been through together, I know we can withstand any challenge that comes our way, because we've proven it.